Hi, everybody. Welcome to Winning Mantras, an endeavor to ignite the spirit of competitiveness. For this episode of Winning Mantras, we have with us Gokul Chhabra, the national winner of Godrej LOUD from MDI Gurgaon. Hi, Gokul. Thank you so much for joining us today. How are you doing?
Hi Alina, how are you doing? I'm doing great. It's a quite lot of adventure for all the B school aspirants as well who are about to join the session and we second years as well. Because we are undergoing a new normal these days, having that disruption by our side. So thank God for our safety. All of us are safe at our homes, and thank you for having me here.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for joining us, Gokul. It's a pleasure to have you with us today. And I think that is going to be the new normal for a few months at least, till this pandemic comes to an end, or we at least have a vaccine in place.
Right. So our virtual internships just ended. Our virtual online classes just started. So this kind of feels like a real virtual adventure per se. And I'm looking forward to new business models as we see in news as well, where people are trying to, bring their businesses online. Everything is going online and virtual. So we need to prepare ourselves for the best. So that's all we can do right now. Like this interview is also a testimony of that, virtual spirit as well. Before we start, Dylan, I just want to thank you and the whole team for this initiative in particular, because the current requirement, the virtual, that virtual presentation skills is the new normal, is the new requirement of the B school students who are yet to come. And presenting these competition hacks via this series Winning Mantra, it's absolutely great to have it.
Thank you so much, Gokul. And I really hope that this does prove fruitful to the incoming batch of students who will be joining these schools and will not be having a clear idea of what corporate competitions are. We hope that this serves them as we are looking at.
Right.
So, Gokul, let's start with the basics. Tell us something about Godrej Loud and what was the entire structure of the competition.
Talking about Godrej Loud as a competition, first just let me tell you, it's not a competition; it's a festival altogether. And the very theme of the competition is live out your dream. I mean, for a student who has just entered B school, this competition arrives. Sorry, this festival arrives, and the theme "live out your dream." It talks about you give us your dream, you pitch us your idea. What is your dream about? And we will fulfill your dream by giving some financial or some technical assistance. So this is all about Godrej Loud as so this is all about Godrej Loud as a competition. Uh, I would say it is one of the most simplest and most lucrative opportunities that an MBA student can come by, because the very theme, as it says, live out your dream. I have never seen any competition which says live just it is based on one theme, just live out your dream. So I think it's very lucrative in that aspect.
Okay, wonderful. The way you've mentioned about Godrej Loud, I think it's very exciting and it's going to be an exciting opportunity for everybody who's going to participate in this competition, especially ones who do have a dream and ones who wake up and, daydream about their dreams.
Right.
Gokul, tell me something. Walk us through the entire process of the competition. So, how did you
Right.
come up with an idea? What was your dream? And then, how did you went on and proceeded further with the competition?
Talking about the structure first. So this competition contains of two rounds. The first round is where you have to submit your entries. And the entries include 5W and 1H, which includes what is your idea, what is the timeline that you propose to finish your idea, and whom does this idea actually resonate to, who will get benefited to this idea, and why. Like, why is this your idea, and why we must choose you to represent your dream in our Godrej campus. After this first round completes, so after I have submitted my entry in the form of a video, which doesn't need to be a very hi-fi video, but it must precisely and very concisely represent your idea. So that exactly happened in my case. And the second round comes where a group of students from a particular B school are called upon. Now, what happens in this round? There are two types of groups of students. The first are special invitees, and the second are finalists, which are known as Godrej Loud finalists. Now I am detailing out all these things because people, all the B school students have a lot of confusion what goes around and what is the difference between this tag special invitee versus a finalist. So I have jotted out three basic points of what are the rights or what benefits does a Godrej finalist has. So talking about the So talking about what Godrej finalist is, entitled to, he has three basic opportunities. First is a visit to the Godrej 1 Vikhroli office in Mumbai. The second is he can appear. He's supposed to appear for an interview for his summer placement, and the third is he gets to represent in the final competition. So what I mean to say here is Godrej finalist is still maintained in the competition. However, the special, talking from a perspective of a special invitee, the special invitee has only two basic rights. That is going to Vikhroli in the Godrej 1 office, and then sitting for the summer placement interview. But I would say that is a very tactical thing to do, because when I was chosen as a Godrej finalist, I was actually really excited that all my friends from the colleges are there to support me and have my back, either I fail or I win. So that is a really good thing, that this concept of special invitee really holds true. Talking about the idea, so I know most difficult task is thinking about that dream, because it includes self introspection, and it puts a stop to your mundane routine, that hectic B school routine, where you have to stop and think, okay, what is my idea about? Because it seems very simple, but I'm telling you, in my opinion and in the opinion of all the colleagues that I have met in my college, not only from my college, from all the from across B schools, I know that finding that one dream is very difficult, because it includes self reflection and self introspection. So let me tell you, I have put it very simply for all the B school aspirants currently. So it is something that you're passionate about, it is something that you love the most, plus it must be something that you might have done in the past, so that it shows some credibility. Okay, you are serious about this particular dream. And at the end, the third point is it must have a goal. For example, I am a good singer, I must have a goal to either perform at a big stage. So it must have some goal. It can't be like I have a dream of biking around the Himalayas, and I want to bike around biking around the Himalayas, so I want to take my bike to the Mount Everest. So it must be a practical dream, it must have some practical goal attached to it. Talking about my dream was to build a chain, to open a chain of beauty salons run by the LGBTQ community. And this was a social initiative carried out by me and my team there in Inactus Ramjas, which was my undergraduate college. So this was a social entrepreneurship club where I also met my first friend who was a LGBTQ ally. Now from him I came to know what this community is all about, and we figured out two basic problems that we wanted to encounter. The first problem was that there was a lack of grooming spaces for these community members, because whenever they used to go out and get themselves groomed, they used to be mistreated, they used to be ill treated, they used to be disrespected. All these kind of things used to happen. And also there was a lack of dignity and respect, which stemmed because they were really poor. So we figured out, did some maths, and brought out this one noble idea of opening a chain of beauty salons, and that really worked. Now in 2017, I, along with my team there in Enactus Ramjas, opened our first beauty salon there in Pehel NGO in Saket. So that was the stem, that were the roots from which this idea actually initiated. So right, so I thought, and after that I got busy in my academics. I thought this can be one opportunity where I could actually benefit the society, benefit these community members, and associate a great brand name, great corporate house with this cause, so that in future it becomes sustainable.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Gokul, for sharing your dream with us. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. And I believe that this idea, if implemented in the right way and in the right direction, is going to do wonders in real life.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Elena. So one last thing I want to mention about the competition is, once you are selected and once you win that competition, you have to propose a deadline by which you have to complete your dream as well. For example, my dream was, I had already opened one parlor in 2017. Now, one would say that such a big dream can't be completed before your summer internship begins. So the clause is, you have to complete your dream before the summer internship begins. Now, my dream was to open a chain of beauty salons, but it had a sub part for which I was seeking funding and for which I was seeking the Godrej support. And that sub part was that I will start by opening first 3 salons there in Delhi itself by March end. And thankfully, before the lockdown happened, I was able to complete my dream.
Congratulations, Gokul, for doing that. And I hope that those saloons achieve success once this lockdown comes to an end.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Elena.
Okay, Gokul, there's one more question. I'm just curious to know that should a person like really have an idea in mind before participating in this competition, or you can start with the ideation phase once you register for this competition. How does it work?
Right. So if you would ask me if before joining my B school journey, if I would have known that such a competition really exists, I would have started, preparing for the competition from that day itself. Because, as I talked about, it is about that self-reflecting, that self-introspection, which takes a lot of time. And a dream cannot be one which you have just dreamt one night and forgotten about it. But a dream has to be something that you have worked on your whole life, or maybe something that has changed something in your life or impacted the society around you. So, and one thing I want to mention you, while we think of our dreams, the very first thing that comes to our mind, that what is that biggest achievement in my life. I think that is one of the rightmost direction that we must go through, because there are so many happenings around us. But when we sit down and think, okay, what is my dream, it takes a lot of time and a lot of introspection. It takes a lot of going back 2 years, which you might have forgotten. So I think before applying for the competition, it is best to start thinking what your dream is, and to start, try and frame out in one sentences कि मेरा dream है क्या actually में.
Exactly. I can totally agree to that point of yours because if you really do not have a dream, how are you going to represent yourself? How are you going to represent that idea in front of a jury who is going to ask you so many questions about it, who's going to get into the depth of your idea? So you need to be really clear about your idea. You should have a very clear picture of what you want to present to the jury. Absolutely, I agree with that.
Right.
Talking about the jury, Gokul, what were they actually looking at in the ideas that were presented in front of them? And what sort of questions were they asking?
Right. So talking about the jury basically, there were two phases. As I said, there were two rounds. The first jury, I am also not aware who were the jury, but I can obviously tell you that they were looking for some uniqueness. They were looking some credibility, and they were looking the confidence behind your dream. I can or I can tell what the next jury wanted. So the next jury in the Godrej Loud final competition, the jury were top management. So Nisaba Godrej was there, who is currently heading the consumer part of the Godrej group. So these were the top management who were judging us during the final competition. And they were basically looking for uniqueness, some credibility, and some energy within you. They wanted to invest in you, and they want something concrete out of it. And it need not align with what Godrej businesses stand for. Many times what happened, competitions come up with their real business cases. However, in this case, it's a proper life case. You have to present what is the dream of your life, and they truly appreciate that, whether it aligns with their businesses or not. So that was really something that needs to be looked upon. That uniqueness factor has to be there, and it must be credible in the sense that you must have done something before so as to validate that you are really serious about it.
Definitely, I can agree with that point because if you like come up with an idea on the day itself, on the day of the competition, or maybe on the day when you're registering for it, you will not be very clear about where you want to go ahead or where you want this idea to go in the future. So I think that is very important that you should have done something before you
Right.
step into the competition.
So what normally happens in a business school, some seniors of yours already alert you that some competitions are going to arrive now, so better start preparing at it. So if your seniors start alerting you, this is the right time for you to start thinking about it. And if you're watching this, any of the B school aspirants who's just entering colleges watching this, better start working upon your dream, because this competition can take you miles.
Okay, wonderful explanation, Gokul. One more question arrived here, and that is, we know that Godrej Loud is an idea pitch competition, and we have a similar corporate competitions as well. How is this particular competition, that is Godrej Loud, different from all the other idea pitch competitions?
according to me, in my opinion, since I've been part of the Godrej group since a very long time now, it's not a competition, it's a festival. And the timing matters a lot here, because it is one of those competition or festivals that arrives at the very onset of your B school journey. So those networking, this is the first official networking opportunity for you, not only from your B school, but from B schools across the country. So it holds a very good opportunity for networking. Second is, the very theme of it makes it very attractive and engaging, because Godrej as a group holds this competition because of the company branding and talent hiring. So we must learn that such competitions can be held within our organizations as well. And the last one is, as you rightly mentioned, some competition hold some eligibility criteria in some cases. Like some competitions are open for only marketing people, some competitions are open for the HR people. But in this competition, there is no eligibility criteria. You just need to come up with a dream and present it and take away. So, take off your dream. That's how, no eligibility criteria. It is one of the very attract. It is one of the reason. It is one of the reasons why many diverse fields are, clubbed together, and we see a lot of diverse competitors coming together.
Exactly. I think this is one aspect of Godrej LOUD, that you do not have to have a very practical dream. So it does not have to be only from the business aspect. You should have some societal aspect, some sustainability aspect, maybe, or something that you really, really believe in. I think that is what makes Godrej LOUD special.
Right, I would agree with that. So, as you rightly mentioned, sustainability is one of the key factors, because it is not sustainable. If it's not sustainable, nobody would want to invest in you. At the end of the day, there is some investment, be it technical or financial, being done on that dream, along with that association. So, it has to be sustainable in that aspect.
Definitely, definitely. Gokul, let's talk about the other presentations. Now, when you presented your idea, and there must have been other students as well who came up with their idea or their dreams to present in front of the jury. Apart from your idea, did you find any other idea that took you by surprise, or that was very unique or exceptionally good?
To be really frank, if we talk about exceptionally great and very unique, everybody talked about my own idea, but I cannot obviously say that. And one of my batchmates from MDI itself also got selected as a Godrej finalist. He wanted to he said, if I win this competition, I want to contribute in your dream as well. So that was that much, attractive enough. Talking about the dream in particular, Alina, I could say the, talking about that dream, or finding that dream, is the toughest part for sure. But, creating an absolutely great pitch, storyboarding is such a great element that you need to put in, that it took all of us by surprise when we saw one of my real good friends, Nitish Chandra's presentation. He was one of the Godrej LOUD finalists, and he wanted to do a 2 month course in Roshan Taneja's School of Acting. So he wanted to do that 2 month course, but his presentation was so unique, and his presentation was so engaging and so energetic, that all of us were surprised. He did a monologue of let's in the and we were given 5 minutes of presentation. In that, for 1.5 to 2 minutes, he did a monologue of his acting. So that was really surprising for all of us.
Wow, wow, that's really great. I think all of these presentations sound so good. Your idea, his presentation, and the other ideas that must have been presented. This gives us a better picture of how creative these people are, how creative these two students are, and how good ideas come up from these people. I think this is why Godrej LOUD comes to campuses like these and visits campuses to get accustomed to get more such ideas in which they can invest, which they can believe in.
Right. So it depends upon your free will. They don't want to experiment on any business case. They want to experiment on you. What is your dream? What is your energy? What is your energy level? What is your uniqueness? What makes you unique out of all the participants? And out of 2,000 students, 10 Godrej finalists are announced, it feels a kind of, really confidence, sense of pride in yourself and in your whole background, because it's something to be looked upon, and it's really inspiring for all of us.
Absolutely, absolutely, Gokul. Okay, Gokul, let's talk about the roadblocks that you must have faced when you were working on your idea and when you were working on the presentation to be given in front of the jury. What all roadblocks did you face and how did you overcome those obstacles?
Right. So the technical part here is that in the first round you have to submit a video, and again it's a very easy and a very complex thing. That's the dilemma. There is no limit of your video. Now they test you on that. You have to now my opinion would say that you have to create a short video, because that will bind the audience with you. You can make a video of 1 hour, you can make as long video as you want, but that doesn't work in normal cases. So figuring out what length of video that has to be, that was really to be thought of. And my seniors in my MDI, who were earlier selected in previous year selected as Godrej Loud finalists, really helped me in that. Also, the second round consisted of presenting your idea in merely 5 minutes, and that was a big challenge. Normally, what happened when I took off from MDI Gurgaon to go to the Godrej One Institute in Mumbai, my presentation was exactly 5 minutes. However, when we did some prototypes, some pilot runs, it went around 7 to 7.5 minutes. So I was really confused on that. And that is the point where corporate branding team, the campus connect team of Godrej group as a whole, helped all the finalists, where they sat down with us for the entire day until 1 o'clock in the night. The next day was a competition till 1 o'clock in the night. They made sure that we revised, and after like 10 to 12 runs, or 10 to 12, after practicing for 10 to 12 times, we were finally sure that in within 5 minutes we'll be able to complete our presentation. So I would say the role of seniors, the role of your colleagues, the role of the audience that are seeing you during your pilot run, it holds a lot of great importance. So normally someone would suggest you that do not practice at the last moment, just be chill. But the routine of a B school aspirant, a B school student is not like that. We always run tight on schedule. And even after reaching to Mumbai, you may not be confident about your pitch. So you need to practice. There were 3 days that we were there in Mumbai, and out of those 3 days, 2.5 days I was practicing. We all of us were practicing on our pitch. So campus branding team, campus connect team of Godrej itself were helping us throughout.
Okay, absolutely wonderful. That sounds like a once in a lifetime opportunity, Gokul, the way you've mentioned it. I would also like you to emphasize a little on the key aspects of a presentation. So you mentioned that the way that you create a pitch is very important, and it goes a long way in how the jury takes your idea. So tell me something about that as well.
So talking about the presentation in particular, I think it needs to be concise, brief, but comprehensive enough. It needs to be precise. It needs to be to the point. And as I said, the element of storyboarding needs to be there. Storyboarding is the future. We at Godrej Loud teaches us your dream is not small or big. Your presentation defines what your dream is going to be. So it needs to be concise. It needs to be precise, and it also needs to be flexible and feasible enough. For example, if we talk about presentation, at the end of the presentation, I must have a plan in action, and that plan cannot be impractical. For example, I want to sing, I'm a great singer, I have a dream of singing at a big stage, but I cannot obviously have a dream of singing at an opera house. That dream will never be fulfilled. And that dream is very hard to be fulfilled by the group, because there is a limited funding, there is a limited timeline. So we need to make sure that that practicality element, that feasibility element needs to be put within the presentations.
Okay, absolutely. I think that is what makes your idea and your dream worth it, worth the jury putting in their amount of money, putting in that much amount of time and investment in your idea. I think it's very important that your idea is feasible and implementable. Okay, let's talk about the importance of corporate competitions, Gokul. Tell me something about why should a B school student look at participating in corporate competitions, and how do these corporate competitions shape an MBA student's life?
So one of the great experiences of entering a business school are competitions. and taking participation in that competitions. Or frankly speaking, I was not aware that there are a lot of opportunities in terms of competitions and connecting with big corporate houses. So this is one of the really good, decisions, or you can say it is in the curriculum of the MBA in India, where where you can participate in so many competitions. One great thing is surely networking. You network with such like-minded people with you, and not only from your batch or from your college, but from all over the India, where big B schools come and participate in these competitions. And you get to learn a lot. At the end of the day, if you're about to start, at the end of the day, if you're planning to open your startup, you always gel up with other B school aspirants because they are also solving business cases as fast as you can. So that like-mindedness really shows up there. Second is, I want to talk about the association. Once you win some competition, or even if you come as a campus finalist or a national finalist, a big corporate house name, that brand joins you, and it associates you. It associates with you, and it is there permanent in your CV in future. So that really increases your credibility. I also want to talk about the real business cases. We read a lot of cases in business school, but what is happening in the current situation, what is the future product that is the company is going to launch, the real business cases are presented to all the B school students, so that they can solve that in real time. The company look at these competitions from a perspective of hiring as well. So these competitions need to be taken really seriously. Many times what happens, if I have won one competition, I get laid back, or I don't want to participate in another competition. That is not a very bright attitude. And Dare to Compete also launches this program where they chooses top 100 B school competitors. So these kind of competitions keep you engaged, and it really shows your competitive spirit at the end of the day. And that is what a B school life all is about.
It's amazing to see how you mentioned about Dare to Compete B School competitive leaders. And I really hope that this encourages B School students to participate in more and more corporate competitions every year.
Right. Alina, I just want to add, we have learned this in B school. Once you add an incentive to any performance metrics, you are able to boost the performance of the aspirants. So by launching this top 100 B schoolers who have done amazing at their competitions, top 10 from different colleges. So this sparks that attitude of competitiveness and spirit, and it really engages the B school students a lot.
Absolutely, absolutely. And thank you so much for saying that. I believe Dare to Compete will keep organizing such awards every year for B School students so that you all stay high in spirits and keep participating in corporate competitions every year.
Right. Right.
Moving on to the last question of this session, Gokul. What advice would you like to give to students who are looking at participating in Godrej LOUD in the coming years? And why should they be participating in Godrej LOUD?
First, answering why they should be participating. It's a lifetime opportunity. As I said, it's a festival altogether. The amount of energy, the amount of positive vibes that you will get through this competition by going to Bombay, or by experiencing the whole plethora of diversity, or the diversity of competitors that you are going to meet there, it is immense. It cannot be expressed in words. So if it comes to your college, must apply and find out your dream. One suggestion I would like to give is, try and chart out your dream from now onwards, and try and frame it in a sentence or two. This will not only help you self reflect on yourself, but self introspect on what your life has been. It will give you a true meaning what lies ahead for you. Apart from the competition, it will help you understand yourself better. And last thing, a very technical thing that I would like to mention is the importance of virtual presentation skills. As the time that we are experiencing right now, it might not happen, it might not be possible that all the competition will happen in real time, or will happen on physical setting. So I would really recommend to work on these virtual presentation settings, that virtual presentation skills, where you need to present your PPTs, where you need to present your videos through online mediums. You never know, Godrej Route might happen virtually this year. So all the very best.
These were some really valuable insights and very valuable advices that you have shared, Gokul. And I hope this is going to inspire and motivate the young ones out there looking to participate in Godrej LOUD in the coming years. Thank you so much for being with us, Gokul. It was amazing interacting with you, knowing you and your story of winning Godrej LOUD. We wish you the best for all your future endeavors, and we hope that your idea reaches heights and you end up creating a lot more saloons in the entire country. All the best for that. Stay home, stay safe, and take care.